Here's a video clip of Tony Romo, the end of January 2012, preparing for the AT&T PGA tournament, playing with Tiger Woods. Tony's had a history of taking the club a little too much to the inside, and so he's working on trying to get the club to stay out in front of his hands on his takeaway, and that's the reason for the club pushing just maybe a fraction a little bit up and out. He'll tend to overdo that just a bit, but the club is staying out in front of his hands, so it allows him to rotate the club over past halfway back to where the club can be above and come close to being a parallel to the original plane line. Now, because he's had a tendency to take the club too much to the inside, he has a tendency to get the club a little bit across the target line at the top of the backswing. He's doing a better job at keeping the club in line with his hands at the top. However, the club face does get a little bit on the closed side because his right-hand grip tends to be a little bit strong. So he's been working on trying to put his right hand a little bit more on top of his left thumb. The biggest improvement here outside of the takeaway is as he starts coming down into the downswing, his history is to get the club stuck underneath and block it to the right or hit some pretty hard hooks to the left, especially with the club head speed he can generate. When he's coming down here, he's having the sensation that his left hip and really even his left shoulder is starting to turn out of the way just a little bit because he would get so much underneath it. And this is allowing his left arm to rotate more down in front of him. And because of that, the club coming down in front of him, so you can see that the shaft line is certainly more out in front than his shoulder line. And to me, that's what determines whether the club is out in front of you or whether it's stuck behind you. He definitely has his club more out in front of his shoulder line, and the club is tracing back down the plane line. And you're going to see it impact how square the club face is at contact, right in the center of the club face with the golf ball. And then past the ball, how the club starts working a little bit on an arc to the left, but he's allowing the extension with his hands because of the proper release. You can see how much the shaft is pointing down. That's a good sense of having the proper release past the golf ball. And then the club continues to arc through onto the follow through as he lets his hips turn through, his right knee closer to his left knee, facing the target as he finishes. I'm going to play this back again so you can see it in slow motion. This ball started just slightly to the right and drew into his target. One more time. Needless to say, he was very happy with the result here, and hopefully this swing carries forward to the Monterey Peninsula the second week of February.